Welcome back to my series where I am going through all the challenges in my book, The C Sharp Player's Guide. And today we are going through this Amaroks challenge, which builds on, well, really a whole bunch of other challenges we've been doing that are part of the Fountain of Objects. We've done all of the base game before, and all of the other challenges in here before this one. So small, medium, large, we've already done. Pits, we've done. Maelstroms, we've already done. And now we are on this Amaroks one. I'm hoping that this one can actually go pretty quickly given the code that we've already got. So this one we're gonna basically this is a second monster type. We've already dealt with one monster type, and in this case, if the player runs into one of these, they die. End of the game. So I'm hoping that we have a lot of the infrastructure already in place to handle this pretty easily. That this will be an easy one to add in. So let's kind of take care of it's this note down here at the bottom, and also this one here, that we get to pick a place for the Amarok to go, and we're gonna have 2 in the medium game and 3 in the large. So we'll go. Let me jump over to here, this where I've been placing these. So we need 1 in here, and I again, this is kind of arbitrary, but maybe we can put it there. And then in this case, we've got 2, so maybe we can put 1 there, and we can put 1 down here. And then we need 3 in this one, so we'll put 1 there, and we can put 1 here in the corner, and we can put 1 right here. It's arbitrary. There's no you can put wherever I lost it. I don't remember where I even had it. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. So I'll put it there, and anyway, so that's the plan. That's how we'll just did that again. Now I'm duplicating it. Okay. It doesn't, these specifics don't matter. I don't think you want to put 1 right next to the entrance, because then when the game starts, you're right there, right on top of it. That makes it hard to know where you're allowed to move, because you don't have a clean space to escape back to a place that doesn't have any problems. So that's the pattern we'll follow. And let's come and look at these cards real quick and see if there's any how we might want to change it for this game. And I think really, given what we already had, I think the only thing we're going to do here is have another class here that will say player dies when encountered. So I think that's about it in terms of these cards. At this point now, like some of the simpler approaches we talked about last time around when we were talking about Maelstroms couldn't apply anymore, because now we know we're going to have at least 2 different monster types. But let's jump in here and let's go to we don't have an Amarok yet, but so let's come in here and put public class Amarok. So by doing that, we get its location for free, and we know we can just implement that method, which is a little bit tricky, because how do we go about killing the player? We've got the player here, but there isn't a way to kill it. I'm just gonna kind of wing it here. This means we're adding in a property to players to indicate whether they are alive or not, and that's pretty easy to do. We just want to make sure that we start it alive. And so now if we encounter If we go into a room with an Amarok, then this method will get called, and this will set that to false, which will cause the game. Well, we haven't written that code yet, but has lost. So what we can do here is we can say if player dot is alive, if not player dot is alive, return true. So if the player is not alive, then we know we've lost. Simple enough. And let's see, what else do we need to do? I think the only other thing we really need to do here is come in here and add in monsters. So let's I'm gonna bring up this again, my other monitor, so you won't be able to see it, but new Amarok. And this is at, let's see, row 3, column 2. Wait. I feel like I must have done something. Hang on. Just I'm okay. I'm just sitting here thinking 3-2. That's where it is. That's what it should be. But the green ones were the Amaroks. So I was trying to place that again. All right, let's do this again. Row 1, column 3. And for the medium game, we've got one ad. Row 1, column 5. And we've got one at row 5, column 3. And in the large game, we've got 0, 0 is where we put one of them. We got another one at row, so see 0, 1, 2, column 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got one at row 7 and column 2. Okay. So that actually, oh, we got the sensing. I keep almost forgetting about that. So we should do sense Amaroks, which this is actually going to be very close to this code. So I'm just going to copy that to start. This was, I don't remember the text. Let me grab this really quick. This. Honestly, I think that's pretty much it. I think that'll do it. And I will say that let's suppose we don't find anything else here. If it really is that easy, it's because of the work we did in the other challenge right before it. All right, so we're starting here. Let's go over and find that Amarok. Move south, move east, move east. So we're should be right here now. So that we are, and so where the room we're in, we can sense this pit and this Amarok. So move south. So now I'm actually right here and I can sense all of these. move, north, move. So I'm going to intentionally move into it because I want to test that dying scenario. Move east. So this should, I'm at 1, 2. Yeah. This should kill me. And it worked. And there is one bug here, and that's this. You fell into a pit and died. It'd be, I mean, again, the book, the challenge as it's written doesn't, we could just not say you fell into a pit. We could just leave it like that. But I don't love that. I do like being able to say this is why you died, because I think without that you'd be it could be confusing. So what, like, let's think through like the act displaying a message that says, you ran into an Amarok and died. It is not hard to do. The trick is where we're at here. We don't necessarily know why we died. There was other code that this has lost. Um, it no, like it made a decision here, like it ended the game because you're not alive anymore. But we've kind of gotten separated. Like the place that displays the text is no longer, it no longer has any real context about what caused us to die. So one thing we could do is we could come into here and we could have, I mean, let's say something like, let's do this: public enum, cause of death, none, pit, Amarok. So perhaps we can indicate what killed us. Oops. When we die. And so, for example, where do we set this? Right here. So we could say game player dot cause of death equals cause of death dot Amarok. And so that I think works pretty well. And now when we're down here, we can say switch string message equals player dot cause of death switch. So if the cause of death is Amarok, then you ran into an Amarok. Otherwise, if the cause of death is a pit, you fell into a pit and died. Otherwise, we actually have no clue. We actually shouldn't be getting here. Actually, okay. In theory, we shouldn't be getting here, but I actually like. I can guarantee you right now, if we fall into a pit, that we're going to run into this line. That's because a pit doesn't kill you in the traditional sense. A pit is like the thing that's doing the pit is, let's see, this right here. This code right here just returns true, and that breaks us out of our loop. This loop here, and then does this. Given the right, there's only two ways to die. Like we could say Like we could do that, and that actually will technically give us the right behavior. Let's go find a pit. Yeah, so now it does correctly show us that. It might be better if the has lost. It'd be kind of nice if this could just be turned into, like, if this stuff about the pit room could be, I mean, maybe, for example, if we just move this to, for example, here. So if we are in a pit room, then player dot is alive is false. Player dot cause of death is a pit. So I'm going to put that in a separate method here that's called handle room effects. So if it's a pit room, then we're going to kill the player. Now, all right, so a couple of things that I want to, so this should still work. I'm going to run this really quick. Okay. There's a couple of little, so okay, we've got code that works where technically could be done with the challenge. There's a couple of little things I want to clean up. One of them is I kind of like, it isn't like the way we've got this set up. We don't want to have this be false without having a cause of death. So I actually think it might be better to remove the direct setters on these. Let's make them private. And just have a public a public kill method, and in here say set this to false and set the cause of death to the cause. So that will ensure public void kill. So that will ensure that the both of those kind of happen as a pair, and then we just need to call that method here instead. So game dot game dot player dot kill cause of death Amarok. And then the other one up here. All right. I like that better because now, like I said, there's no way to like accidentally forget. No matter what we do, the only way to switch the player's is alive property to false is to call this method. So I think that's cleaner. One thing I will say, I don't think I'm going to do it right now. I don't think we need to. But one thing that has crossed my mind as I've been doing this is it would be kind of, this method name kind of goes to that. It'd be kind of nice if any room, kind of like how a character, a monster that's in the same room as um a monster that's in the same room as the player gets a chance to like interact with the player. We could do a similar thing for rooms, and then this could just get shifted over to that class. I like that approach better, but I don't think I'm gonna change this right now. I think we're gonna call it done here. Uh, Even though I do like that other design better. Again, it leaves open the possibility. Like I could add in a room type that does a bunch of things. For example, um I could have a like a wormhole. Like I could have a room that like teleports you to another spot on the map by just having two wormholes that are linked together somehow. And when you move into one, then it just says, "Hey, you've been teleported." Poof, and now um, and it just moves your location to wherever the other end of the wormhole is within the map. So like that's a thing you could do if we went and said we're gonna have room effects, and we're just gonna say room, whatever effect you have, the player just popped into the room, whatever effect you have for a player entering the room, run that now. And in the case of a pit room, it would kill the player. I think it's a more flexible design. This this challenge doesn't demand that. We don't need that flexibility, but it seems like it could be a nice flexibility to have anyway if we wanted to keep making this game for the next 3 weeks. But we don't and we won't. So I think let's check just to be sure, but I do think we've covered all the ground we need here. We did add these to all of the different sizes. We did handle this. We did handle the sensing. Yeah, so I think we've checked off all the boxes. I think we've done everything we need to do. I think we can call it. So that's it for this challenge, and see you for the next one.